Bam! Just a bold blob of paint right there.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm John Correa, and for today's video, we're now in intermediate level of our June Sunset series. Last week's beginner friendly is so much fun, and I hope you gave it a try. So now let's step it up a bit. We will build dynamic cloud shapes, reflect light across the water, and create depth with grass in the foreground. And if you'd like to see the full process from start to finish, including the reference photo I use, and every step along the way, it's all available on my Patreon. Also, feel free to check out the Korea Art custom brushes I'm using, perfect for handling all the brushwork in this piece. All the links down below. So yeah, let's get started.
Alright, so let's lay down the acrylics starting with primary blue, deep green permanent, primary red, cadmium yellow medium U, titanium white, and black. Alright, now here's the brushes that we're gonna use today. Number 6 flat brush for the sky and clouds, 00 small round brush for the highlights on the grass, and number 0 and 2 angle brush, perfect for adding subtle highlights on the clouds and also for laying down the first layer in the foreground. So let's start with this one, number 6 flat brush. Let's paint the sky first. So let's wet the brush a bit, just a little bit. Let's load it up with this light yellow and gently brushing it across the canvas with horizontal strokes back and forth, right around in this area. And as we go upward, let's add more titanium white to the mix. We want this area to be really light before we transition into the light blue. Let's start adding this light blue here. We want this transition to be really soft and seamless as we move upward. So just keep blending it with gentle horizontal strokes back and forth. Then let's move on to the slightly darker blue for the upper part of the sky. And this darker tone will help push the top part of the sky, adding depth and that calming end of day feel. Alright, let's clean the brush. Let's add a bit more warmth down here near the horizon, using this soft pink tone, some orange, and yellow to blend it. Just like that. This is gonna add that subtle glow right where the sun's setting. And it will make the whole sky feel even more alive. Just keep it soft like a gentle haze of color fading into the light. Alright, so now let's move on to the clouds. We'll start with the orange tones first. You can also start adding this pink tone for extra softness and warmth. Again, keep this area thin and narrow. It's meant to look farther away, so it shouldn't take up too much space. Keep it a little close to the horizon so it stays subtle and doesn't overpower the rest of the sky. Now let's start adding some of this light purple on the top part of these clouds. Just keep your strokes soft, kind of feather it in so it blends smoothly with the warmer colors below. Then load it with this dark muted purple, maybe a touch of this light purple. Let's start here at the top and using slanted downward strokes to shape these bigger cloud forms. Since this part of the sky is much closer to the viewer's eye, the clouds naturally appear larger, and that's exactly what we want to capture. It helps create that sense of depth, like the sky is kinda warping or stretching toward us. So don't be afraid to let it stretch across the top area. You just keep your shape interesting, vary the edges, and avoid making it too symmetrical. Alright, so now let's switch to the number 0 angle brush and load it up with this soft pink. We're gonna start adding highlights to the edges of these clouds, mostly on the ones above. And I'm kinda just loosely sketching this along the lower parts of this cloud shape. Nothing too precise. This will give them a nice glow, like they're catching that last bit of sunlight. Just imagine the light is hitting from underneath and softly lighting up these edges. It really helps bring the clouds to life. I think we need to add just a bit of red to this light purple. Yeah, that's what we're missing. A slightly more reddish purple tone to help transition between the pink highlights and the deeper purples. Alright, so now we're going in for the sun. Let's have this pure white. Bam! Just a bold blob of paint right there. Now let's move on to the river. Since it's reflecting the sky, we want to make sure the colors match. So let's bring those same tones down here. Let's start with this light yellows. Just brush it in loosely. Then as we go down, we'll start blending in some soft pinks and oranges to match that glow from the sky. And some of the blue on the very bottom. Keep your strokes horizontal and light. That way, it keeps the reflection looking soft and natural. And now let's move on to that distant mountain. And we're just gonna use the same colors from our sky. Nothing too detailed. Just a basic mountain shape. Alright, so now let's move on to the middle ground and the foreground. We will start by mixing the colors for the grass.
Won't you come back home again? I left the whole light on in case you come back home.
Then let's grab our clean number 0 angle brush and let's start with the mid-tone. Load it up with this light yellow green and let's start in the horizon line. Just gently brush it in. Keep the strokes horizontal and follow the lay of the land. And we will build more layers on top later to add depth, texture, and detail. So yeah, no pressure here. Just let the brush do its thing and block in that base color. And then down here, let's start adding the base shadow. Let's load the brush with this dark green. Let's just focus on the lower part of this grass area, where the sunlight doesn't really hit much. This will help define the form of the land, making it feel a bit more rounded and grounded. Alright, now using a clean angle brush, we're just gonna repeat the process here, adding another layer right on top to make everything more solid and opaque. After that, let's switch to the small 00 round brush. Let's wet the brush a little, then load it with this almost black tone. And we're gonna start layering the deepest shadow right over the base shadow. This is really where we start carving out the finer details and really defining the forms. These little touches help describe the shape of the terrain and add more depth without even needing a lot of detail. Just light pressure and slow strokes, that's all you need. Alright, so now let's mix the colors we need for those bright highlights on the grass. So using a clean small round brush, and we will layer this highlight right on top of the mid-tone. I'm just using small taps and sketchy strokes, kinda like quick little dabs or flicks, to add these bright grassy highlights. In some areas, we can even just gently glide the brush across the surface, no need to tap everywhere. What's really important here is just suggesting where the light is hitting the grass. So yeah, it doesn't really have to be super detailed. Just these soft directional strokes can already give the impression of sunlight brushing over the land. Just load the brush with this color. And we're gonna apply it the same way we did with the brighter grass highlights. But this time, we're focusing only on the shadow areas. These are just subtle highlights, nothing too bright. What we're doing here is breaking up those darker shadows so they don't look too flat or dull. Even in the shadows, there's still a bit of light catching on the grass. Then let's have this deep shadow. Let's add touch of water. And let's paint the reflection on these rocks on the river. Just a gentle horizontal stroke right underneath each rock. And we will start giving this rock some highlights. Let's load the brush with this color. And we're just gonna loosely highlight each rock. No need to blend it too much. Focus mostly on the right side of each rock where the sunlight would be hitting. Then let's mix a bit of white with some yellow to create our final brightest highlight for the grass. We will just use this to add tiny touches, like very small taps. Just like that, almost like little dots. Right on top of this grass. Just enough to add that extra shimmer and make certain spots pop a bit more. And finally, using this magenta, we will add some tiny flowers scattered all around the scene. Just very light tops here and there, nothing too planned. I'm letting the brush barely touch the canvas, almost like I'm dotting on little petals.
But I was sleeping with the light on dim.
Alright, we're done. I really enjoy working on this sunset scene with you, and I hope you had fun too. Again, if you'd like to see the full step-by-step process, it's all available on my Patreon. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.